So now a lot of folks have been sued at Fox News. Obviously, Roger Ailes, the person who led Fox News, has now been ousted because of all the sexual harassment allegations, lawsuits, etc. And then famously last week, Bill O'Reilly as well. So both on sexual harassment claims and ones that were settled. In Bill O'Reilly's case, Fox News paid out $13 million in harassment claims. 4 out of 5 were sexual in nature. And of course, there were more charges on the way as well. Now, we've pointed out throughout that, well, look, not everybody is getting charged at Fox News. Sean Hannity isn't. Well, now there are new allegations against Sean Hannity. Now, what might be a surprising twist to you guys is that I'm going to defend Sean Hannity on this. And is it partly dependent on the person? Yes, in this case it is. The person making the allegations is one Debbie Schlussel. We have dealt with her in the past, and I'm going to show you a video of her in a second that you will greatly enjoy. And we nearly ended her career. I don't think she had much one to begin with, to give you context. And she's also deeply conservative. She's more of a lunatic conservative than Sean Hannity is, to give you further context. And really, when we bring up the allegations from this person, and we tell you that it matters who it comes from, all we're talking about is context. So in the case of Ailes and O'Reilly, there were a great number of allegations verified by others. That's why Fox News paid those out. And Fox News has not done anything of the sort here, and they are defending Hannity. And I think that when you look at the full context of it, you'll also agree, certainly by then, given what's happened later today, that perhaps Hannity is right on this one. So first off, Schlussel, or as we used to say, Schwang Wang Wang, Debbie Schlussel, went on the radio recently and said about Hannity, he had some event at a bookstore where he signed his book for people standing in line. He asked me to come meet him at this book signing, so I met him there, and it was very awkward. He had me stand up there with him while he signed books, and I felt very weird. These people don't know me, and they didn't come for me to sign their books. Well, that's a rare, true thing that Debbie Schlussel said. Anyway, so then I left to get ready for the show, and he said, why don't you come back with me to my hotel? And I said, no, I have to get ready for the show. Now, already in these allegations, that is enormously unclear. You can't, hey, come back to the hotel with me. If that's true, well, hotel or a hotel room. If you don't clarify, that could be a giant difference there. Okay, well, in a Monday interview, Schlussel clarified her remarks, saying that she didn't consider his contact sexual harassment, but still considered him, quote, creepy. Then why are you saying this stuff? Okay, all right, Hannity has a theory on that, and again, I might agree. I want to come back to that Monday interview because it turns out to be enormously important. Okay, Schlussel described another alleged incident of Hannity propositioning her after one of his programs, which she says she turned down. So those things are sometimes part of a pattern, and then it becomes clear. Sometimes they're standalone, and it might be that the misunderstanding is on the other side. And so, look, whether it was University of Virginia case or so many other cases, what we tell you is, look, you gotta look at the full context. And that doesn't mean that every allegation is true, but most allegations are true. So just grain of salt, that's why we have trials, etc. Take it and try to understand it a little bit better. And in some cases, it might simply be a misunderstanding. In some cases, it stretches the imagination to say that dozens of women had the same misunderstanding as you said, one over the top thing or another. But in this case, it's one woman with, can I come back? Do you want to come back to my hotel? And she interprets it as, of course he's coming on to me. Maybe, of course, maybe not. Schlussel said, after that, I wasn't booked on a show again, and he called me and yelled at me. I got a very weird feeling about the whole thing, and I kind of knew I wouldn't be back on his show. Or you weren't back on his show because you're even crazy by conservative standards. And there's a completely different explanation for this. Now, you might be wondering, what do I have against her? I really, look, I got no dog in that fight in that she's almost an entirely irrelevant right-wing commentator. I didn't even know she was still trying to be in media. I thought she would have been embarrassed enough to leave media by now. So I'm gonna show you an old video of hers that we had some fun with back in the day to give you a sense of her star power in the media. And then you might see why Hannity might not have had her on again. Now, you'll love the pronunciation, you love everything about this, but also note towards the end of the video the dubbing she did because she clearly got a fact wrong. Watch.
I'm Debbie Schlussel for Debbie Does Politics. So, the queen of daytime talk has endorsed BO. No, not the smelly BO, but the presidential BO. That's right, Oprah Winfrey endorsed Barack Obama, as you've probably heard. And I have a problem with that. It's not so much because I don't agree with Barack Obama's views. I don't agree with them. But I also don't agree with letting a woman who's the most influential person in America use all of her media acumen and all of her media outlets, her magazine, her TV show, her seminars, everything else, to push a presidential candidate, while we're all regulated to a lousy $2,300 per presidential candidate. Sure, I can't really afford to pay $2,300 to any presidential candidate of my choice.
I love the dubbing. Ignore what I said earlier. I meant $2,300. No, not the smelly BO, Barack Obama. Okay, I'm pretty sure Debbie Schlussel ended her own media career. Okay, so she's got some credibility issues. Sean Hannity comes out over the top here. And if she's lying, by the way, despite all this, she might be telling the truth. You got to be fair and open-minded. I'm just telling you from my vantage point, I'm a little skeptical looking at the facts that we have now, and you'll see that that's justified based on what she said today. Anyway, Hannity comes out strong, says, let me be clear, the comments about me on a radio show this week by this individual are 100% false and a complete fabrication. This individual is a serial harasser who has been lying about me for well over a decade. The individual has a history of making provably false statements against me in an effort to slander, smear, and besmirch my reputation. So, you know me, I'm not a fan of Sean Hannity. I don't agree with any of his political views. Somebody accused me falsely, I'd be pretty mad too, if that's the case. Now, he's considering suing her for all the defamatory statements he claims she's made. She's now threatening to countersue him because her reputation has been hurt, whatever there is of it. Fox News backing Sean Hannity completely, saying this is not the first time Debbie Schlussel has lied about Sean Hannity. Now, look, Fox News also not a well-known reservoir of veracity. Having said that, they settled a lot of the other cases. And in this case, they're like, no, I don't think so. Schwang, wang, wang, Debbie Schlussel. So then Schlussel does an interview with Law News today. She says, I would never accuse him of that, referring to sexual harassment. Sexual harassment has a special meaning under the law, and I would never accuse him of that. Now, wait a minute though. Okay, so all this is apparently all about nothing, okay? But second of all, why did you bring it up then? Why do you say, hey, look, I thought he invited me back to his hotel, and then I never got to be on the show again? That is a very clear implication. Well, don't make that implication if you think he didn't sexually harass you. If you think he did, then by all means pursue it. She says, by the way, Schlussel later clarified that it wasn't his hotel room, but rather his hotel. Okay, now further clarifications. He was probably nice enough, and I know it sounds funny saying that about Sean Hannity, but for people who meet him say he's very nice. We could disagree with him and he could be very unnice in policy, but could be a decent person in person. I don't know. I've never met the guy. But it could have been that he was actually nice to you when he shouldn't have been, saying, oh yeah, you're gonna be on the show if you wanna get drinks or something. Oh yeah, all right. She told LawNews.com that she did go on the show following the incident, but after that was banned from Fox News. You don't know that, okay? And then she once again clarifies, I never thought I was sexually harassed by Sean Hannity. I thought he was weird and creepy, not someone I liked. My guess is that the feeling is now mutual. Okay, so look guys, some of you might take this the wrong way and think, oh, don't attack this accuser of Sean Hannity who's a bad guy and all this. Look at the culture at Fox News. And I don't know what Sean Hannity has done or not done. I do know the culture at Fox News, but I'm just telling you that knowing what we know about Debbie Schlussel in public, right? And knowing the context of this doesn't seem like one of the more credible allegations against Fox News. We're trying to be as impartial as we can here. I got no love for Sean Hannity, but from our perspective, this doesn't look exactly fair. Podcast The Young Turks anytime you want. TYTnetwork.com/join.
I think it's weird.
No, it's not weird. In fact, you'll think,
I'm like a smart person.
do it now. tytnetwork.com/join.